morning, class. Today, we will tackle another interesting topic in physics. But before that, let me check first if everyone is around. Yes, glad to hear that everyone is around. Now, do we have an assignment? None. Okay, so before we proceed to our new topic, we will have first a recap on what we discussed last meeting. So do you still remember what we discussed last meeting? Very good. We discussed about electricity generation. Now, who can still remember what is electricity generation is all about? Okay, so electricity generation is all about how electricity is being generated and produced in a power plant or any other source of electric power. Now, do you still remember what are those power plants we discussed before? Okay, so we discussed these power plants before, and these are wind power plant, nuclear power plant, geothermal power plant, and hydroelectric power plant. Now, class, our topic for today is a continuation on what we discussed last meeting. Okay, so are you familiar with these pictures? I think you are very familiar with these pictures. We actually see this in every corner of the street, right? Now, class, do you know what these lines carry? Very good. It carries voltage. So in these lines, this is where actually our electricity flows in order to reach us at home. Now, class, do you have any idea how does electricity or what are those the processes that the electricity does to go in order to reach us at home? Okay, so in order for you to understand that, to understand more about the path electricity, this will be our topic for today. And our lesson is all about electricity, transmission, and distribution. Now, for our objectives for today, so at the end of the class, the students will be able to explain how electrical energy is transmitted and distributed, and trace the path of electrical energy transmission and distribution from the source, which is we choose hydroelectric power plant, to consumers. Now, class, in our lesson today, you will be explaining on how electrical energy is transmitted and distributed. And also, you will be tracing the path of electrical energy transmission and distribution from the source, which is hydroelectric power plant, to consumers. Okay. Now, we will unlock some terms that we will be using in our discussion. So let's find out what are those. Okay. So the first term is the distribution lines. Distribution lines carry electricity from distribution substation to individual consumers. Next term, we have distribution substation. So what is it? It transfers power from transmission lines to distribution lines, and it is where electricity voltage is decreased. Next one, generating plants, where electricity is produced. So we already discussed many power plants last meeting. Next one, step-down transformer. From the word step-down, it reduces the output voltage. Next one, step-up transformer. From the word step-up, it means it raises the output voltage. Next term, transmission lines, wires, and cables designed to carry electricity from transmission substation station receives electric power from a power plant where electricity voltage is increased. And the last term we have voltage, electric current force measured in volts. Okay, so please refer on this term class because you will be using, or these terms will guide you during in your activity. Now, we will have an activity in which you will trace how electricity is being transmitted and distributed from a source, which is hydroelectric power plant, to our homes. Now, the title of our activity is tracing power. And the objective of our activity is to trace the path of electricity from the generating station, transmission station, distribution station to residential areas. Okay. Yan. Yan. So before we proceed to your activity, I will divide the class into 7 groups because this is by group. Now please count up. Okay, thank you. Now before you proceed to your respective group areas, you will listen first to my instruction. So what are you going to do is that I have here your materials and your activity sheets, wherein you can find the procedures in the activity for your, you can find the procedure in the activity sheet for your activity. Now, so what are you going to do, class, is to analyze the pictures, which comes first until the last step. After analyzing, you will paste the picture on the Manila paper. And after that, you will trace the path of the electricity by using the arrows. So after tracing the path of electricity, class, name the pictures using the strips provided here in your envelope. And identify the specific areas where step-up transformer and step-down transformer with the number of voltage are utilized. After that, answer the guide question in the activity sheet. Now, class, your group output and presentation will be graded by these criteria you can see in the screen. Okay, so you will be given only 5 minutes to finish the activity. So, are you ready? Okay, so you may start now. Please be reminded of the criteria. At the same time, please refer to the terms here so that you will be guided on how you will answer the guide questions in the activity sheets, as well as the path of electricity. Okay, you have 3 minutes more. Okay. So group 1, are you finished? Not yet. How about group 5? Okay. Group 7. Okay. Still have 1 more minute left. Okay, time's up. Now post your works on the board and select one representative to present your output here on front. comes first? That's right, it is the generating station. So in the generating station, this is where the electricity is being produced and generated. So what's next after the generating station? Okay, so the next one is the transmission substation. So transmission substation, it receives electrical power from the generating station. So also, what we can see here is that there are two transformers. We have step-up transformer and step-down transformer. So what's the use of step-up transformer? So the use of step-up transformer is that it raises the voltage. So we can see here that the voltage is being raised by the range of 138,000 to 765 volts. And within the operating area, this voltage here is being reduced by the step-down transformer. So in the range of 34,500 to 138,000 volts. Okay, so what's after the transmission substation? That's right, it is the transmission lines. Now, what's the use of the transmission lines? So the use of the transmission lines is to carry electrical power from the transmission substation to long distances. Okay, now what's next after the transmission lines? So we can see the arrow here, the distribution substation. Now, what's the purpose of the distribution substation? Okay, so the distribution substation, it transfer power. So transfer power from the transmission lines to the distribution lines. So what can we see here in this substation? Okay, we can see here the two step-down transformers. So here, the voltage here in transmission substation being carried by the transmission lines to the distribution substation is reduced by the step-down transformer to a range of 2,400 to 19,920 volts. And within the operating area, it further reduces until it has now a 220 volts. So what's next after the distribution substation? So that's right, the next one is the distribution lines. Now what's the use of the distribution lines? Okay, so it carries, the use of the distribution lines carries the reduced to this 220 volts voltage to the residential consumers. So this 220 volts is now the standard AC voltage that we use here in the Philippines. Question, ma'am, why is it that the voltage output is needed to be reduced? Okay, so the voltage output is needed to be reduced in order for us or for the residential consumers to consume it safely. So that's the idea behind that. Now, any question about the path of the electricity? None? Okay, so let's proceed to the guide questions, to your answers on your guide questions. So these are the guide questions. Number 1, what are the different stations in the transmission of energy? So your answer, the different stations in the transmission of energy are generating hydroelectric plant, the power plant, the source of our electric power, transmission substations, this one here, transmission lines, distribution substations, distribution lines, and residential consumers. So this is the last stop. Okay, now guide question number 2. What do you notice about the size of the transmission lines as it reaches the consumers or as it reaches our homes, us? So the size of the transmission lines as it reaches the consumers decreases. So as we see here, or as we notice here, this is the transmission lines. Their lines decreases. Okay. Next one. So what happens to the voltage that travels from the source to the consumers? So the voltage that travels from the source to the consumers also decreases. As you notice here in Group 1's illustration, from 138,765,000 volts is being reduced to 34,500 to 138,000 volts. And this range of voltage is again reduced here in distribution substation from a range of 2,400 to 19,920 volts. And again, within the operating area, it further reduces to a voltage of 220 volts. And these 220 volts will be carried by the distribution lines into our homes. Okay, now what's the use of step-up transformers and step-down transformers? So step-up transformers increase the voltage, while the step-down transformer decrease the voltage to be consumed at safe levels. So when you say step-up, it raises the voltage. But when you say step down, it reduces the voltage. Okay, so do you have any question, class? Do you have any questions? Okay, none. So, okay, let's recap what we have learned so far. So, what do you call again the cables and wires where the electricity travels from the power plant? Okay, that's right. It's the transmission lines. Now, what is distribution? Distribution lines is all about. Okay, so distribution lines carry the voltage from the distribution substation to the residential consumers. Now again, how does electricity transmitted and distributed from a power plant to the consumer? Okay, so electricity is transmitted and distributed from a power plant to a consumer by these processes. So first, we have the generating station, wherein the electricity will be generated and produced. So in our activity, we use the hydroelectric power plant. Now, after the generating station, we have the next substation, which is called the transmission substation. So what is transmission substation is all about? So it's all about, it receives the electric power here from the generating station. And after that, under this substation, we have step-up transformer, which is raises the voltage from a range of 138,000 to 765 volts. And under the operating area, the same operating area, we have also a step-down transformer, which reduces the voltage output from a range of 34,500 to 138,000 volts. And after that, we have here the transmission lines. So, what's the use of the transmission lines here? So, it carries the voltage from the transmission substation to the distribution substation, or to long distances. So, what's in the distribution substation? So, distribution substation is a substation that transfers the electric power coming from the transmission lines to the distribution lines. So, under this substation, we can see two step-down transformers. So, the first one it reduces the output voltage, this output voltage, to a range of this 2,400 to 19,920 volts. And after that, within the same operating substation, the output voltage further reduces to this voltage 220 volts. So after the distribution substation, we have the distribution lines. So the distribution lines connects this voltage, 220 voltage, to the residential consumers. So that is how electricity is being transmitted and distributed. And as you can see, this is the path or the processes in which our electricity has to go through in order for us, or in order for the electricity to reach us at home. Okay. Now, what do you think is the importance of studying electricity transmission and distribution? Okay. So I think the importance of studying electricity and distribution is that to know the processes, to understand the processes that our electricity has to go through until it reaches us to our home. Okay, very good. Now, what do you think is the distribution substation here in San Luis Agusan del Sur? Do you know what is it? Okay, that's right. It is the Agusan del Sur Electric Cooperative, or also known as ASELCO. So that company is responsible in transmitting and distributing the electricity in the province of Agusan del Sur. So do you have any questions? None? Okay, so let's proceed to our evaluation, to our short evaluation. Okay, so are you finished answering your evaluation? Okay, so let's check. Now, number 1, it carries step-up electrical energy from the generating plant. So what's the answer? Transmission lines. Next one, the lines that carry step-down electrical energy to the residential consumers. Distribution lines. Next one, step-up transformers are transformers that lag the voltage from the primary to secondary coil. So from the word step up means increases. So the last number, step-down transformers blank the voltage from secondary to primary coil. So from the word step down, it means reduces. So does everybody get perfect score? Okay, very good. We have another last item. What is the distribution company in San Luis Agusan del Sur? So what's your answer? It is the ASELCO, or Agusan del Sur Electric Cooperative. Okay, so for your assignment, by group, design and build a diorama that would show the path of electric power from generation, transmission, and distribution. Use materials that can be easily obtained from your home and in your community. Recycled materials are always welcome. Pay attention to details and make your representations drawn to scale. The dimension of your diorama will be 15 by 16. So your project will be based in the given rubric. So this rubric. Yan. So content, 25%. Creativity, 20%. Accuracy, 25%. Organization, 20%. Promptness, 10%. A total of 100%. So your group will be the same. In your group during the activity. So this is an example of a diorama. So this one. So as you can see here, they have power plant. So where is it, their power plant? So here. Yeah, this one they uses the wind power plant. So from the wind power plant, they have transmission, transmission lines, distribution substation here, the distribution lines until it reaches to our homes, to the residential consumers. So that's it for today. I hope that you learned something in our discussion. Okay, so God bless everyone. Goodbye.